All right, Sandy, Rob, this is an exercise to help you determine what might make you feel unsafe during your labor. It's all about determining who's the tiger in the room for Sandy.
Tiger.
Well, yes, Ralph, you're the tiger. And Sandy, you're the pregnant mom. Now then, I want you to imagine that you're laboring in the jungle. You're surrounded by the comforts of nature. There's trees and fresh air. Really get into it. Show me you're in full labor. Come on, Sandy. That's it. Yes, you're in full labor, Sandy. You feel powerful. Yes, you're totally safe. Yes. And then all of a sudden, there's a hungry tiger lurking in the distance. You, Ralph, you're the tiger. Look hungry, Ralph. Look hungry. Sandy, who's the tiger?
It's not me.
It's my doctor. First thing Monday morning is the best time to plan a surgery. You want a Monday so you don't have to stay in the hospital over the weekend? Everyone says that the quality of the nursing staff is worse on the weekends. But I can't tell you that because my section was set at 8 a.m. on a Monday. When we were leaving at 5:30 a.m., I felt great, like this is going to be a piece of cake. I felt so good, I was videotaping my husband leaving the house. I have to admit, once we checked into the hospital, I started getting really nervous. It's typical of me to plan, and not realize what I was doing. This is a major surgery. Everyone told me, but it didn't hit me until I was getting prepped. I love my C-section. I can't comprehend why anyone would want vaginal pain, all those ice packs during recovery. The only thing I didn't like was that my doctor was late. My 8 a.m. surgery started at noon. It wasn't because he was busy with another patient. He got the times wrong. He thought my section started at noon. I did think it was kind of weird that he hardly paid any attention to me during my surgery.
Hi, how you doing? Lie down.
During the surgery, my OB was talking to the nurses about what he did over the weekend. He only asked me how I was feeling once. But like I said, I didn't hire him to be nice. I hired him to deliver a healthy baby. My husband and I did have one strict rule during the section, that he couldn't look completely horrified once he saw my guts out. I didn't want to be reminded that my guts had been hanging out for 30 minutes. I insisted that he tell everyone a joke. Jeff, tell everyone a joke.
No.
Yes, tell everyone a joke.
All right. How many obstetricians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
That's my husband always joking. Oh, I loved it. The whole experience was exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have to deal with all that anxiety or all the craziness women go through giving birth. I wanted it easy, and it was. Now, of course, I'll always be curious about the whole natural birth thing. But I know there's a lot of things in my life I'll probably never get to experience. Like I'll probably never get to climb the Himalayas or Mount Kilimanjaro. I always wonder.
Hey, buddy. It's Mommy. Don't worry. I've got it all under control. That tiger is not going to hurt us. Mommy's getting closer to your due date, only 8 weeks away. And I've got a plan. This is what I'm thinking. I'm going to go into labor and not tell anyone. Not even Daddy. We can't tell Daddy. This is a big secret. You see, if I go into labor and nobody knows, and by the time anybody does know, it'll be too late to go to the hospital. And you're going to come out quick and easy, right? Mommy's doesn't want any tigers at her birth.
Okay, remember the midwife that said, read these 4 books and then maybe I can attend Abby's home birth? Well, 1 week later, I devoured all 4 books. I think she was shocked. So now can I go?
I'll check with them if it's okay with her.
I thought she... So I went to the birth. Wow. To see a baby being born like that? I've never seen anything like it before. It was amazing. Abby made these incredible howling noises. I wouldn't have thought the sound of a whale in distress would sound too nice.
Whoa!
We were home for hours. I remember walking out of that birth thinking, I want what she got. I began to seek safe passage. I finally began to work through my birth baggage.
Okay, in my head, I was planning a home birth without telling anybody. But that really didn't make a lot of sense because my entire family would freak out. Except for Ralph. Ralph would do anything I asked just to make me happy. That's why he was taking me to doulas and doing silly tiger exercises. But the rest of my family totally freak out. My sister said to me,
Oh, great. Now I'm going to have to take care of 2 kids if you die this time.
wow. Meanwhile, after the tiger exercises, I was as calm as a surgeon. I knew what I had to do. I had to find midwives. I had the studies. I knew that my best chance for a VBAC was using a doula with a midwife and no drugs. I really want a midwife, Anushka. Is that possible? At almost 8 months?
I'll talk to my midwife friends at Nearby Hospital.
While I was waiting for Anushka to call me back that week, I had another appointment with my OB.
Hello, how old are you?
34.
And how old will you be when the baby is born?
34.
Wow, you are really measuring big. And this is going to be a big baby.
Flashback!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
How big is my baby going to be?
Probably about 9 or 10 pounds.
Flashback!
Push! Don't push! Push! Don't push! Breathe.
So right now, my baby is 9 or 10 pounds.
Yes, I mean, you are measuring really big.
Flashback!
This is gonna have to be a C-section. This baby might be 11 pounds. You can't birth an 11-pound baby. The baby's heartbeat is dropping.
Prove it.
Prove it?
I want you to prove my baby is 9 or 10 pounds. I want you to prove it or I'm going to be really pissed.
Well, I mean, I can't exactly prove the baby's weight without a sonogram. And sonograms are less accurate later on in pregnancies.
I walked out of my doctor's office that day and never looked back. And you still called me that afternoon to tell me the midwife would see me.
Hi, Sandy. I'm so glad to meet you.
It took me my whole pregnancy to get there, but when she hugged me, I knew right then I had made it.
1 month after attending Abby's home birth, I was pregnant. It was like I finally got it. Birth is normal. I've never seen a sitcom about that. Can you imagine watching a woman give birth on TV, not hooked up to machines, with no doctors and nurses checking on everything, and not screaming like a wild woman? Every birth I've ever seen on TV is an emergency. No, more like a disaster story. The woman and her baby are on the brink of death. Or at least we think they are. That reminds me of the funniest comedy I've ever seen on childbirth. Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. A pregnant woman is about to give birth. She goes rolling down the hallway, doors banging open.
Boom! 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 Boom!
When they get to the operating room, the nurse says to one of the OBs,
"The patient is ready."
and the doctor says,
All right, bring the patient into the fetal frightening room.
then the OBs show off their new, very expensive machine that goes, and everybody claps. Then, when the OBs have assembled a room full of machines, the two doctors look at each other and say,
I think we're forgetting something. Yes, the patient, the patient.
Off the nurse goes to find the patient, who's in labor on a table behind one of the machines. It's just too funny. Oh, and then when the woman's pushing her baby out, the doctor says, you have to listen to me because
You're not qualified to deliver your baby.
Okay, so of course I wanted a home birth. I tried to do this with a group of fabulous midwives who had a birth center in South Texas, but their OB would not approve me for a home birth or a birth center birth. He said I was this high risk because my birth history wasn't perfect. Basically, I'd never pushed a baby out without drugs. That was enough evidence to declare me unfit for a home birth. Was I mad? Sure. But this time, I wasn't taking any crap. I did my homework and found an OB that would help me deliver my baby the way I wanted to. But first, I interviewed him. What's your episiotomy rate? And your C-section rate? Oh, and yeah, do you like women?
In my 30 years of delivering babies, I have learned more from women than I ever did in medical school.
Thank God! I have finally found an obstetrician in South Texas that believes in birthing women. On the actual day of my birth, the nurses were baffled. They'd never seen anything like my birth before. A woman giving birth naturally in South Texas? They didn't know what to do. Oh.
This baby is coming out, Jillian.
Oh my God. You know, all the hospital staff wanted to hook me up to something. After a few hours, they realized I was doing it. Jillian DeMoya was birthing her own baby. Me. You know, I just love everything about going natural. Pushing my baby out of my womb, doing it myself, feeling the baby pass through me. It was so exciting and so deeply fulfilling. But what made the birth extra special was when my midwife friend took me into the shower after the birth and bathed me. To feel her gentle hands caressing my body. I'd never been a part of women caring for each other. My heart was weeping with joy. I needed this experience. After my third birth, I finally got Ina May's words.
My body is not a lemon.
At 38 weeks, my midwife came to my house for my prenatal. Isn't that right, Ralph? She came to the house.
Unbelievable.
Santa, I want to feel and listen to the baby.
Would your daughter like to help? Yes. Would you like to hear the baby's heartbeat? Tell about how big my baby's going to be, because I know all too well that 9 pounds is the cutoff for a VBAC at the hospital.
Sure, let me check.
About 8 pounds, 3 ounces. Did you hear that, buddy? The midwife thinks you're about 8 pounds, 3 ounces. Let's keep it that way. You're going to come out quick and easy, and the old-fashioned way. I went into labor the next week. It was about 2 a.m. and I woke up to go to the bathroom. I soon as I sat down on the toilet, I started shaking uncontrollably. It was so weird, like I'd left off right after Rachel's birth. Like I picked up right there, shaking on the OR table because it was so cold in that room. But thankfully the shaking went away. This time, when I woke Ralph up, instead of running around calling his mother and grabbing the bags like he did the last one, he said to me,
Did your water break? Wake me when your water breaks.
Dave, it doesn't always work like that. Your water doesn't always break first. Oh. The contractions are 5 minutes apart. I talked to Anushka and Stacy, and they both think it's time to go to the hospital.
Oh no, I stayed up watching a movie until an hour ago.
That's not my problem. My body was still so cold. I was piling on clothes and blankets. I probably looked like an outlaw by the time we got to the hospital. It's showtime, buddy. Take it easy on your mommy. This is going to be quick and easy.
My client had a very traumatic first birth experience and needs for her laboring environment to be as peaceful as possible. Could you help me create that for her?